golden leaders. As you've heard, I believe in the golden benefits of Toastmasters. When I joined at Toastmasters, I knew nothing about the leadership opportunities in our organization. I joined for the communication benefits. But as I learned about the leadership opportunities, I definitely wanted to mine for leadership gold. Why do we need to mine for golden leaders? As the topic tonight, because we want to excel at succession planning. What is succession planning anyway? Wikipedia defines succession planning as the process and strategy for replacement planning or passing on leadership roles. It is used to identify and develop new potential leaders who can move into leadership roles when those roles become vacant. When we think about Toastmasters leadership roles, they last anywhere from 6 months to 1 year in each of the different leadership roles in our organization. When we become an international director or an international officer, those roles may lengthen, but most of our leadership roles are for 6 months to a year. How many organizations actually have succession plans? And the answer is only about 35% of organizations even have a succession plan. And as you can see by this chart, that means 57% do not, and some are not sure if they have them or not. I think that must mean the employees are not sure whether they have a succession plan or not. Does Toastmasters have succession plans? Well, interestingly enough, we do. And those succession plans are related to our organizational structure. But I can tell you that we have a succession plan for our CEO. So at the highest level of our organization, we do have succession plans in place. But when we think about the structure of our organization, leadership opportunities begin at the club level. And there are multiple club officer roles that we can fill. We definitely want our president to have served in one of the other club officer roles, if possible, before they serve as club president. But when we're talking about a newly chartered club, no one has served in a club officer role within that newly chartered club. So someone has to step up to be president. And we definitely want our area directors to have some leadership experience at the club level. And then we move into division roles, we move into other district roles, regional roles, and international roles. So built into our organizational structure is a type of succession planning. Now I want to learn more about you. I am so honored tonight to have as my Zoom chat master your program quality director. So Elena has said that she will serve as my Zoom chat master. We will interact in the Zoom chat, and the reason we will interact in the Zoom chat is so that we can share as much information as possible. It is so much easier for us to all share when we are sharing in the Zoom chat. I want you to type your answers into the Zoom chat for questions that I ask you to respond to in the chat. And my very first question for you is, why did you become a Toastmaster leader? Type into the chat very succinctly, concisely, why you became a Toastmaster leader. And Elena, as they answer this, please read off their responses, or some of them. Are they responding? Are you on mute?
No, I give some time to write their answers. So Liesel says, I wanted to serve and learn.
Awesome.
Daniel, I wanted to contribute to the success of the club.
Oh, beautiful.
TJ, to grow and help others grow. Nice, TJ. Clays, board members were needed when COVID started to save the club.
Thank you for stepping up.
Alessandro, I became a Toastmaster leader because I have always held the highest degree of respect from the art of rhetoric and public speaking.
Oh, beautifully said. My goodness. All right, let's move on to our next question then. How were you recruited? Type into the Zoom chat how you were recruited. And as you're doing that, I will tell you that literally why I became a Toastmasters leader is because I was inspired by the club leaders before me. They inspired me to want to be a club leader. And then I've been inspired at every level of our organization by other leaders. How did I become a leader? I was asked. But Elena, what are they saying about how they were recruited?
Well, most of them, they were motivated by other board members so they can help the club.
And were they asked or are they saying?
Asked.
Okay, they were asked.
Most of them.
And there are some leadership opportunities that I actually stepped up to do. I asked if I could serve in those leadership opportunities, but it is so important for us to ask those potential leaders to serve in leadership positions. The next question, which leadership role do you hold now? If you would, type succinctly into the chat what leadership role you are holding presently. I am obviously a past international president. I will tell you that I am a member of a working group right now, and it is composed of past presidents. We are very excited about our working group. We're working on club officer training. So I am a past president and a part of a working group currently. What are they saying in the chat as far as their leadership roles? And everyone should be able to answer this one.
Yes, we have presidents, we have district directors, we have VPs, VPPRs, immediate past division directors, treasurers, surgeon at arms. We have a lot of roles.
That's wonderful. So we have club and district roles. The next question, what have you gained from serving in Toastmasters leadership? I would like to hear some skills that you have gained in serving as a leader. When you think about skills you have gained as a Toastmaster leader, type one or more of those skills into the chat. I'm very proud of all of you for being such quick typists, by the way. So Elena, what are they saying in the chat?
So listening, humility, appreciation, how to tackle differences, IT skills, conflict resolution, leading a team, networking, trust in more expert people.
Fabulous. Those are terrific skills. When I think about the skills that I've learned, absolutely listening, thinking, and then speaking. Listening before I lead. I think listening skills are so critical in both communication and leadership roles in our organization. The next question, which Toastmasters leadership role will you consider next? I want you to type a leadership role that you're thinking about. If you've made a decision, that's even better, but what leadership role entices you as your next leadership role in Toastmasters? I will share with you that I have been stepping up to club leadership roles ever since my term as international president ended. I am currently a vice president membership and a vice president education. I do intend to be an area director again one day because I absolutely loved that leadership role. What leadership roles are they willing to step up to fill?
Well, we have area directors, VPs, VPPRs, PRMs, So district roles, club sponsors, immediate past district director. I think I said everyone. And
That's
VP membership.
Thank you so much for someone saying club sponsor. There are so many roles outside of the organizational structure of Toastmasters. Whenever we want to form a new Toastmasters club, we absolutely need new club sponsors, new club mentors. And within our club officer roles, we can have committees or teams. So the Vice President Education can have a VP team to support the education role within Toastmasters at the club level. We can have a team for the VP Public Relations, the VP membership. So there are so many additional leadership roles outside of the ones that are listed on our Toastmasters organizational chart. Thank you for mentioning the club sponsor. Whom do you recommend to be your successor next year? Each of you is in a leadership role this year. And so whom would you recommend to take that role next year? Succession planning is all about us mining for golden leaders, and we have to be a part of that. We need to be looking for talent, for leaders that can take the roles that we currently have. I am absolutely considering the individuals within my two clubs that I believe can step into the VP membership and the VP education role next year for those clubs. What about you in your club roles, in your district roles? I literally want you to write names into the chat. Now, why do I want you to write names into the chat? Because we want to be sure and follow up with those individuals. Now, at the club level, you should be following up. At the area, division, district level, we may want to have others encourage along with you encouraging those individuals. So don't hesitate to write names, literal names, into the chat. Members that you believe have the potential to be leaders at every level of our organization. So Helena, are they writing some names into the chat?
Only one has written a name. So just give us names, people. I'm sure you know a lot of Toastmasters that they can do it. Oh, yes, now I can see names.
Good. Keep those coming. And as we progress through this presentation, I will give you another opportunity to type in names. But as you think of names, don't hesitate to go ahead and type them into the chat. What I would ask you to do is identify what role you think that they should fill. Is it a club officer role? Is it a district level role, area, division, or other district leadership role? Or is it a club sponsor, a club mentor role? Is it some other role outside of those on the organizational chart? And finally, how will we recruit these successors? I want you to encourage individuals you believe are potential leaders in our organization. I want you personally to encourage them. And then again, if you let us know who these individuals are, then at the district level, district leaders can also contact them. We are talking about how we can mine golden leaders. We will also talk about how we can develop golden leaders. But first, let's look at how we can mine them. The very first step is what we have just done, and that is to identify potential leaders. When we think about these leaders, which roles do we believe they would be able to fill? We have this group of leadership roles in Toastmasters, and you saw in Toastmasters, we have almost 100,000 club leaders around the world in 14,200 clubs. We have thousands of district leaders, area, division, And then the district leaders, admin managers, finance managers, public relations managers, club growth directors, program quality directors, district directors, immediate past district directors, and all of the committees that our districts have. We have over 100,000 members each year who serve in leadership roles. Some of these leadership roles have eligibility requirements. All of these leadership roles have responsibilities, and there are skills that can support our leaders at every level of the organization. When you think about potential leaders, which leadership roles would be good for the potential leaders you are considering? Again, we have club roles, district roles, regional roles, international roles in our organization. And some individuals can serve at every level of leadership in our organization. Again, here's the organizational chart. Club, area, division, district, region, international. Those are the categories of leadership roles in our organization. Not only do potential leaders need skills to fill certain leadership roles, but we also want our leaders to have leadership qualities. I want you to think about leadership qualities, qualities that make someone an effective leader. When you think about leaders you admire, what qualities do those leaders have? Please type at least one leadership quality into the Zoom chat. And if you've thought of more, then please type multiple leadership qualities into the Zoom chat. Again, competency-based skills are something that we need in our leadership roles, but we also want leadership qualities for our leaders to be effective. Elena, please let me know the qualities that they are typing into the chat as they do so.
Empathy comes a lot. Integrity, reliability, charisma, listening, visionary.
Oh, those are beautiful qualities. These are sourced from 5 different websites, and I've listed the websites on this slide. I thought these encompassed most of the leadership qualities that we want for effective leadership. Vision and inspiration, integrity and honesty, self-awareness and authenticity, communication and influence, delegation and empowerment, commitment and passion, decision-making and critical thinking, gratitude and humility, learning agility and creativity, and finally, adaptability and flexibility. I thought these encompass the ones that you have mentioned. I thought this was a thorough list, but again, it came from 5 different sources. And I loved the pairing of these, vision and inspiration. When we have a visionary leader, that visionary leader is usually inspiring as well. I will make these slides available to District 109, as I've told your program quality director. So you do not have to take notes with this. And again, you'll be able to click on these links and look at these leadership qualities in even more depth. When you think about these qualities and you think about yourself as a leader, which of these qualities do you have? And which of these qualities that you do not perhaps have now, do you want to learn? In the chat, I want you to type one quality you have and one quality you want to learn. So type into the chat H, and then type in the leadership quality, and then L, and then type in the quality you want to learn. So H for the quality you have, L for the quality you want to learn. Please share some of these as you see them in the chat. And as you're doing that, I will just tell you that I love the fact that our organization is for continuous learning. So I am always learning. Every time I attend a leadership training for club officers or at any level in Toastmasters, I learn from it. So continuous learning is something that I will do for the rest of my life in Toastmasters. Helena.
So we have a vision and inspiration. Wow, a lot of people. Just a moment. We have vision and inspiration and learn delegation. Have authenticity and learn adaptability. Have charisma and vision, learn empathy, calmness, attentiveness. Have integrity and honesty, learn gratitude and humility. Have vision and inspiration, develop delegation and empowerment. Have empathy, learn flexibility. Have integrity and honesty, learn decision-making and critical thinking. Have gratitude, learn delegation. Have delegation, learn listening.
Thank you so much. I am so glad. It sounds like you've definitely benefited from this slide. I believe we always have to evaluate ourselves, evaluate our abilities, and always be thinking about how we can improve ourselves. Thank you for sharing your leadership qualities and those you want to learn. Identifying potential leaders is so important, but we need to create and maintain a list that we can refer back to and that we can use for contacting these potential leaders. That is why I have asked you tonight to share potential leaders you believe could serve our organization and benefit from that leadership service. I had the privilege to serve as the District Leadership Committee Chair for my home district in 2020 to 2021. We only received 3 applications or letters of intent, if you will, for the district leadership positions, and we had 10 leadership positions to fill. We had to recruit individuals to serve in district leadership that year. We needed to have at least 7 more individuals, and we wanted to have more. We wanted individuals who were willing to step up to do so. We spent time in contacting potential leaders and creating a list. During that time, there were several individuals who were interested in leadership, but not interested in it at that time during the next year. We maintained that list and gave that list to the next District Leadership Committee Chair. When I served as the International Leadership Committee Chair in 2021 to 2022, we had at that time only 21 nominations, 21 letters of intent for international leadership roles. And then we wanted to have as many as possible because we had so many leadership positions to fill that year. And we recruited 9 more individuals to participate in the nominating process that year, for a total of 30 individuals to at least participate in the interview and nominating process. Identifying potential leaders is critical to our organization at every level. We need to be impressed by aptitude and attitude. Aptitude being their skills and attitude being their qualities. When you think about individuals with aptitude and the proper attitude, the proper leadership qualities, again, who comes to mind? If you thought about someone else, please enter their information into the chat. The second step in mining for golden leaders is to encourage one another. How and when should we encourage members to serve in leadership roles? The answer is all the time. Whenever we see a potential leader, we should encourage that potential leader to step up to leadership. And so right now, what I'd like you to do is to encourage someone. When you look at those individuals present today for this workshop, is there someone that you want to recognize? Is there someone you want to thank? Is there someone you want to encourage to step up to the next level of leadership? I want you to consider how you can encourage anyone on our call today or anyone after this call. Please encourage someone today or thank them for the leadership role they have held. Encouragement is so important. I would never have become international president if I had not been encouraged every step of the way. I was encouraged as a club leader. I was encouraged as an area director, a division director, in all the district leadership roles. And at that point, I thought my leadership journey had ended until an international director asked me what my next leadership step would be. I'd never considered international leadership, but when she asked me what my next leadership role would be and encouraged me to step up to international leadership, I considered it and became an international leader. When the regional opportunity came forward, I wanted that role, so I stepped up to that role. I never expected to become an international officer until an international officer asked me what my next leadership role would be. And he encouraged me to run as an international officer. Encouragement is critical to succession planning. The next step in mining for golden leaders is explaining openly and clearly the leadership role. We want every leader to understand the responsibilities of a leadership role we are asking them to take. We want to emphasize to them the benefits of that role, but we want to be very clear in what will be expected of each of our leaders. It's important they understand the responsibilities and then understand the benefits. The next step is to inspire potential leaders. I have been inspired at every step in the leadership journey by leaders in those positions. How can we inspire potential leaders to step up? By modeling golden leadership. That is what has inspired me, and I believe that is what inspires others. We always need to maintain a professional demeanor in our words and our actions. Our words need to match our actions. Demonstrating a positive attitude, again, is essential to modeling golden leadership. We need to continue to develop ourselves. We need to continue to improve ourselves. We need to continue our path and pathways and in our leadership journey. We need to support leaders at every level of our organization, again, by encouraging them, mentoring them. Talk up Toastmasters leadership whenever you have the opportunity to do so. Mentor others and be a mentee as well. I was mentored by 3 past international presidents when I served as president of Toastmasters International. We must always adhere to our codes of conduct, and we must model our core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. By modeling golden leadership, we will inspire others to leadership. And then ultimately, we need to ask them to serve. Encourage them. Let them know that you believe in their leadership potential. And then ask them. And how do we go about asking them? Well, first of all, you might want to ask them why they joined Toastmasters. Do you know why every member of your club joined Toastmasters? Do you know why every club officer stepped up to serve as a club officer? Do you know why your area director is an area director? Why your division director is a division director? Do you know why individuals are serving in district leadership roles, regional roles, international roles? Well, ask them. And then what have they gained at each of those levels in Toastmasters? What have they gained as a club leader? What have they gained in each leadership position? Do you want to gain that as well? What do you see as their leadership potential? I had to take baby steps to achieve the leadership skills to serve at the next level of leadership in Toastmasters. But that's what our organization is all about, is developing our skills in communication and in leadership. We're a developmental organization. Sometimes we have to connect the dots for our members. We have to say to them, I see that you have the ability to serve as a club officer. Do you remember the international speech winner who said, I see something in you? We need to express what we see in the members of our clubs and the leaders at every level of our organization. And then we need to encourage and inspire them. We may want to gradually groom them for leadership, so perhaps we want to ask them to be an assistant. I have an assistant working with me in the vice president membership role in my club. We may want to ask them to serve on a committee or a team of individuals. So perhaps there's a project we're working on and we want them to work on that project with us. And then finally, we want them to lead. We can have them as an assistant, we can have them on our team, but finally we need to encourage them, inspire them to be the leader. Have you ever heard objections, or have you ever objected to stepping up to leadership? These are the most common objections for serving in leadership. Do any of these look familiar to you? Perhaps they do. Well, how can we overcome these objections? First of all, concern over their capabilities to serve as a leader. Again, we are a developmental organization. We will train them in how to serve in those leadership roles. Are they too busy? Well, my understanding, busy people are usually the people that get things done. So if they're busy, we just want to encourage them to manage their time and add a little bit of Toastmasters leadership to that time. Lack of company support. Certainly, I will tell you, when I was serving as Toastmasters International President, I had to ask for the support of my company. I was gone for 9 weeks, and I had to ask my manager for that time away. I did not receive pay during that time, but he valued Toastmasters and gave me the opportunity to take a leave of absence for those 9 weeks. We need to be sure that our companies understand the value that Toastmasters brings to them and how we become more effective employees and managers because of our Toastmasters communication and leadership skills development. Family support. It's very important that we have the support of family. I was fortunate. My husband was a Toastmaster, so he understood the value of Toastmasters. Again, I think we need to use our communication skills in making sure that our family understands the benefits that they gain from us being in the Toastmasters organization. Timing of the opportunity. This is one place where I say, if the timing is not right for the individual, then put them on that potential leader list. And that's when we need to then continue to contact them to encourage them to step up to leadership. The next one is one that distresses me, and that is negative leadership models. I hope that in Toastmasters, they are receiving positive leadership models. I hope that negative leadership models are happening outside of Toastmasters. But whenever this happens, we need to be the golden models for Toastmasters leadership. To summarize, the first step in mining for golden leaders is to identify the leadership roles that we need to fill and identify potential leaders for each of those roles. We need to encourage at every opportunity. We need to explain the responsibilities of the leadership role and then emphasize the benefits that potential leaders will receive in serving in those roles. We need to inspire potential leaders by modeling golden leadership ourselves. And finally, we need to ask them. We need to ask them to step up to Toastmasters leadership. That's how we mine for golden leaders. But what about developing golden leaders? We are an organization with the tagline where leaders are made, and we make leaders by developing them. I love this quote: "The growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership." How do we develop golden leaders? We develop them in all of the ways listed here. First of all, pathways. The paths are not only communication paths, but there are leadership roles within most of the paths as well. I already said, ask them to serve on a club committee or a district committee or team. Ask them to be an assistant. We want our area directors, our division directors to have assistants, and we can certainly have assistants in club officer roles as well. So ask them to serve as an assistant. Through serving in club officer roles, that's how they learn the benefits of Toastmasters leadership. And we have training programs for our club leaders. We have training programs for our district leaders. So through serving in leadership roles and attending training programs, we gain the benefits and understand the benefits of serving in leadership. Did you know that there are club leader evaluations and there are district leader evaluations? Well, if you didn't, I will show them to you. And if you did know, I hope that you are using those leadership evaluations for both club leader roles and district leader roles. And finally, mentoring at all levels of our organization. We need to be sure that we are mentoring new members and that we are being mentored in whatever leadership roles we are serving in currently. Pathways. 11 paths, over 300 competencies that we can gain in the Pathways program. Many of these leadership competencies. So when you think about Pathways and you think about the paths that you are completing, what leadership skills are you learning within the Pathways educational program? Club leader roles. If you did not know that there are self-evaluations for our club leaders, you can see them here. Under club officer roles, it talks about role summary, view tutorial, and then self-evaluation. There is a self-evaluation for each club officer role, and it is on the Toastmasters website. I encourage you to encourage your club officers to evaluate themselves. And if you are a club officer, please evaluate yourself. And by the way, you can also share these with members or with the other club leaders and ask them to use it as a 360-degree evaluation and give you feedback as well. In order for us to improve our leadership skills, we need to receive feedback. And these evaluations have been prepared in order to help you evaluate yourself, and if you want to have others evaluate you too. District leader evaluations. Did you know that there are self-evaluations for our district leaders? There are. And you see those under the District Leader Tools District Leader Kit. We also have a 360-degree leader evaluation for district leaders as well. Individual self-evaluations and then a general 360 evaluation for our district leaders. I encourage all of you serving in district leadership roles to use these evaluations to evaluate your leadership. This is a copy of the district leader self-evaluation that is just the general district leader self-evaluation. As you saw, there is actually a specific one for club growth directors, program quality directors, and district directors. And then there's a general one just for a district leader, an area director, division director. The 360-degree district leader evaluation is shown here. It is 5 pages long, and look at the different categories of leadership covered by this 360-degree evaluation. Leadership, communication, interpersonal skills, teamwork and team building, problem solving, motivation, prioritization, reliability, overall feedback. I encourage all district leaders to have those with whom they're working complete this 360-degree evaluation so that we can all improve in our leadership development. Mentoring. We all need to be mentors, and we all need to be mentees, in my opinion. We need to mentor members to be leaders at every level of our organization. And as leaders, we need to be mentees and receive mentoring. I was so pleased to serve as a division director mentor when one of my District 55 directors decided that he wanted every one of his division directors to have a mentor. He contacted the past district directors and asked if they would be willing to mentor a division director, and I immediately agreed to do so. Today, I mentor people at different levels of our organization. So I mentor individual members and I mentor different leaders at different levels from the club all the way through the district level of our organization. There are so many mentoring programs available. Obviously, at the club level, we need to be sure that every new member has a mentor. We need to be sure that all of our newly chartered clubs have mentors. We need to have leadership mentors. So I hope that you will volunteer to be a leadership mentor at whatever level of comfort you have to be a leadership mentor. District 108 has the Odyssey mentoring program, and I learned about this, I believe, in 2019 or 2020. And I went out to their website and they still have this mentoring program. So if you want to be mentored at another level of mentoring, then you may want to go check out the District 108 mentoring program. It's called Odyssey. And then, of course, Pathways Mentoring. This is the link to the District 108 Odyssey mentoring program. And as I said, I'll make this available to you. Pathways mentoring. So have you served, have you completed your Pathways mentoring projects at multiple levels of Pathways? I hope so. And if you haven't done so yet, then that's another mentoring opportunity for you. When we think about the successful mentor traits, we have successful mentor traits beginning with being experienced and knowledgeable. In order to serve as a mentor, we must have experience in whatever we are mentoring. We need to be positive and supportive, respectful and caring, and committed and dependable. So these are 4 mentor characteristics. When you're thinking about creating a mentoring program, I hope your club has one, but if it doesn't, then certainly you need to recruit mentors and mentees. In order for us to mentor individuals, we have to have both mentors and mentees. And they need to be willing to invest the time that is required to be a mentor and to be a mentee. Both mentors and mentees need to be committed to the time for mentoring. We need to match our mentors and our mentees. It's important that you ask the mentees what their goals are, and then you match them with mentors you believe can help them fulfill those goals. And by the way, I say it's always good to check back. And I noticed on the Odyssey District 108 mentoring program, they absolutely check back and evaluate whether the mentee and the mentor match is working or not. When I served as Toastmasters International President, I matched up mentors and mentees on the board of directors. And then I checked with them. And I will tell you, there were some mentoring relationships that were not working well. That's why mid-year, we changed the mentors and the mentees to ensure that the mentoring process was working. It is so important that goals are a part of this mentoring process. We need to know what the mentee's goals are, and then we need to be sure that they achieve those goals during the mentoring process. We need to set up a regular meeting time. Both the mentors and the mentees need to be accountable and track that goal achievement. And obviously, after those goals have been achieved, it's time to close the mentoring relationship or reevaluate it and set new goals. Do you have a mentor? And are you a mentor? If you do not have a mentor, I encourage you to ask for one, to think about who could be a mentor for you and then ask them. Today, we've talked about how to mine for golden leaders, and we've talked about how to develop golden leaders. I believe that for succession planning and Toastmasters to be successful, we need to continuously mine for golden leaders. Leadership expert John Maxwell said it very succinctly. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession. And what I'd like to say, it is measured by the success of succession. Leadership in Toastmasters, there are so many golden opportunities. I am grateful to be with District 109 today, and I am grateful for my golden chat master as she supported us during this session. I now turn it back over to you, Elena, and I am happy to answer questions if there are any.
Thank you, Lark. Thank you very much for this inspiring presentation. And I would like to welcome you all to ask questions. And I'm sure as Toastmasters, you have questions. I don't think you don't have a question. So please raise your hand or type in the chat your question so we can learn more from your questions.
Speechless Toastmasters. I have never seen that happen.
Yeah, okay, I can answer.
Just a moment to give the floor to Yoko, Klaes, and then you, okay?
Thank you, Elena, and thank you very much for the very, very motivational presentation. I have a quick question, which is about your mentors. If I understood it correctly, the mentors can be multiple, and depending on the stage of your leadership, the mentors will be changing. How do you? I think I heard from your presentation that you were encouraged by the leaders who were above the next level, and that motivated and inspired you to step up to the next level and run forward for the next and push you further to the higher leadership. But how do you deal with all the previous mentors? Do you still maintain the mentors that you had at the previous initial phase as a Toastmaster? or do you sort of have a transition of mentors in your life?
There's a transition of mentors in my life. And as I mentioned about the mentoring process, we set goals with our mentors, or we should. And once we have completed those goals, then it is time to close that relationship. Or perhaps we have created a friendship there and we just want to maintain that friendship. So I certainly believe that the past presidents that mentored me, I believe that I am friends with them now, and I'm so grateful for their friendship. But at every level of our organization, I believe that we have different mentors. I certainly had a mentor at the division level. So I looked and talked with the person who had served in the division director role prior to me serving in that role for his guidance, and was so honored that he gave me that guidance. And then certainly when I served in district leadership roles, I asked past district leaders for their advice and their support and received it. So I absolutely believe that we have different mentors that serve us in different ways. And to your point, yes, I know people who have multiple mentors, and it's because they are serving in different mentoring roles for them, right? They have different expertise, and they therefore can mentor them in different ways. Absolutely. I'm mentoring a couple of district directors right now, and I know one has another mentor as well as me mentoring that person. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Class?
Yes. Yes, thank you. So, Lark, I have two questions. I can't decide. I'm not good at decision making. I have to practice as leader. Okay, take maybe one of the important. Okay, after COVID, so clubs got less strong, fewer members. There's less people to recruit from, and this has been, as at least for me, what I found it meaningful to be a leader in this, and also to get some good techniques to find leaders. But still there's this, when there's so many no's, you get people saying no, and so you touched upon that. And how do you have any reflection on when you receive many no's and you have this, maybe you don't want to continue yourself in the role?
I absolutely have received many no's when I was serving as the district leadership committee chair in District 55. I received several no's. And I also, when I was on the International Leadership Committee, received some no's as well. I went through the most common objections because I think that we do need to be sure that we have a dialogue with individuals who say no. If you truly believe in that individual, then I think we need to do what we can to overcome those objections. I believe so often it is the time element. And if we let them know what they have to gain from serving in leadership, I think that we can overcome that objection. So I always encourage you to talk about what you have gained in the leadership roles that you have held. And if you can give an example of what you have gained, literally an example, an analogy, how it has helped you in your career, how it's helped you in your interpersonal communication skills with your family, I think that is powerful. When we can actually give an example of what it's done for us, then that is our strongest way to recruit leaders.
Yes.
By the way, I want to make a comment. I have been very sad that during the pandemic, we lost so many members. I want us to become strong again. And I believe that we have to promote the benefits of our organization and the value of our organization in order to become strong again. I think that the Vice President Public Relations role within our clubs is essential for us to strengthen our organization. I believe at the district level, the public relations manager role is critical for us to increase the visibility of Toastmasters and the benefits of our organization. When I think about our planet with almost 8 billion people on the planet, and I think about what Toastmasters has given me, I do not understand why 8 billion people are not a member of this organization. So I think it is so important for us to be sure and leverage public relations within our clubs and within our districts to let the world know that this organization has value to us as individuals to help us have golden communication and leadership skills.
Mm-hmm. I would like to, I think during this period of, one key when recruiting also is to be flexible in what are the responsibilities.
Yeah.
Can you find a way to run a club on 2 board members during a shorter period of time by taking what is most important? When you go in and see Toastmasters International, what they demand on the list, if you have to go against the larger expectations that we sometimes have and be creative and still keep the quality at the meetings.
Yes, I think it's so important to keep the quality. And to your point, we don't have to have 7 members be leaders in our clubs, right? We certainly want that. And again, I want that because I want the members to benefit from the leadership opportunities. But you're absolutely right. If you don't have 7 people who can do it, then I agree with you. Be creative about the roles. And let's just make sure that our meetings are fun and educational and that our members and our guests want to come back.
Yeah, that would right. If I would suggest that for Toastmasters International, anyone who has contact up there, maybe you, to maybe pronounce a bit, give recommendations how to run a club on less resources, make that more clear.
Okay, thanks for that recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah. I have another question, but I will leave the floor to the other ones. Okay.
Okay. Now I would ask a question that Liesl asks. Apart from tracking your goals or performing evaluation, is there any other ways to track yourself?
Other than tracking your goals or performing evaluations, any other way? As I said, I believe being a mentee so that you have someone to hold you accountable. So having a mentor is another way for us to be sure that we continue to develop ourselves. I always say that in our clubs, we have tenured members and some of them have struggled with pathways. So why not get some of these new members who do not struggle with pathways to be the mentors for those tenured members, right? Those people who don't struggle with technology, let them support those who do. And what great interaction between a new member and a tenured member. One of my Toastmasters clubs, we have a gentleman who turned 21 last year, and he is an absolute delight. And what I love about Price is that Price actually sent out a message one day and said, I have to miss this meeting. And do you know this, in my year in Toastmasters, this is only the 3rd meeting I've missed. And I thought to myself, how wonderful that the tenured members of our club saw that message from one of our newer members saying, I'm missing a meeting tonight and I don't want to miss that meeting. So absolutely, I believe that leadership evaluations, goal setting, and having someone to hold you accountable as a mentor are great ways to continue to develop yourself.
So who is next? Any other questions?
Oh,
come on, Toastmasters. No questions?
I see a comment, buddy system. I love that. I love
Yes.
that. I like that. I like the way to call that a buddy system. Great. Thank you so much for that. By the way, I plan to save the chat so that I'm able to look back at all of your recommendations.
And we have the accountability partner too. So that is useful too.
Absolutely.
So Klaus, would you like to ask your question since no one else?
Yes, please. We have struggled in my club here in Stockholm, so Sweden, to really to make people interested in getting a mentor or becoming mentors. I've pushed it, I've lifted it up. We mail out, and people are more voluntarily. We ask new members. We say them, you have the opportunity. Is there someone you like that you would like to come? Few people sign up. I don't know how to do it. If I should just pinpoint, connect people myself, or
I think that's great for you to do that. And certainly I always ask the new members which member they want to mentor them. So I always ask the new members, I let them attend meetings for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I say to them, which member do you want to mentor you? But if you have a problem with finding enough mentors in your club, let me tell you what I suggest. That is holding a monthly mentoring Zoom meeting and invite all the members, be them new members or tenured members, to attend. Obviously, this is going to take some time for someone, and usually this falls under the vice president membership, could fall under vice president education. But I suggest that if you have a struggling club, if you have a low member club, then simply hold a mentoring Zoom session on a monthly basis and invite everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.